Yes. My father was a wonderful man who waited on me hand and foot when I was a child. Mother used to jokingly call him the slave. When I was growing up, I expected to find a husband who was as loving and caring and selfless as my father. Instead, I found Frank. I would always give Frank 30 minutes back rubs, which he always asked for. He would never give me a back rub unless I begged, and then only for 30 seconds. One time I broke both my arms, but despite all this, I continued to give Frank his religious back rubs. One day during a doctor's visit, the doctor warned me that if I continued to use my arms that way, I would permanently damage them and I would have these shooting pains for the rest of my life. And so that evening, I told Frank what the doctor had told me. And Frank said that I was exaggerating everything because I had become lazy and I did not give a damn about how his back felt. One day shortly after that, after a long time rubbing his back, mine was sore too. And I turned to him and said, "Honey, it's my turn now. And I want 30 minutes because I usually give you 30 minutes. And Frank looked at me and said that I thought you usually give me 30 minutes back rubs because you love me, not because you expect something back in return." And I had to explain to him that I love him and I expected something in return because I usually give him so much. He said that I had become selfish and that I should try being a selfless person and see how that works out for me. And yes, I tried to be selfless, but for a while because the shooting pains in my arms, which I refused to massage, had become unbearable. And that's when I finally figured it out. It would be easier to kill Frank and then continue trying to be selfless. And I know I should have left or something, but the apartment was so nice, and why should I be the one to give it up? I'm the one who found it in the first place. And I suppose even then, maybe there was something else that I should have done, but I'm telling you, killing Frank was the only best available solution for me at the time. The real problem between Frank and I, it's my inability to be assertive, to assert myself. Had I just asserted my rights to my back rubs, to my arms, to my apartment, which I found, maybe Frank would have respected all my needs and killing him would not have been the only available option for me. tend to fluctuate between being too passive and too aggressive, while the fact remains that I just need to find a stable balance between both of them.